my beloved child. I come to you not through the roar of thunder or the force of the storm, but through the gentle breath of dawn, where the morning light touches the earth with the tenderness of mercy. For a long time I have knocked upon the door of your soul through small signs, a drop of water falling in the still of night, a melody that makes your heart tremble, or a stranger's gaze awakening in you, a forgotten hunger for the person too, divine, but you did not recognize them. The noise of the world has drowned out my voice, and the worries of life have filled the space where I once whispered. That is why today I must speak directly to you, to remind you that there is a depth within you crying to be awakened, a part that has belonged to me since the dawn of creation. Since the moment you began chasing after what your eyes could see and your ears could hear, you have lost the thread that ties you to eternity. The world teaches you to achieve, to prove, to climb higher, but in that pursuit, you have left behind your own soul, the only part of you that can give peace. I see you striving through long days, piling on responsibilities, convincing yourself it is what must be done to survive. But my child, existence is not the same as living. To exist is merely to breathe, but to live is to commune. And true communion is not with material things or success, it is with me, the one who breathed life into you so that you might know what true living means. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit apart from the vine, your soul cannot blossom when it is cut off from the source of grace. I have spoken, whoever abides in me, and I in them, will bear much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing. John 1:5-5. You have read these words, but today I want you to hear them with your heart, not your mind, for it is in stillness that my words come alive. I know there have been nights when you lay in silence, staring at the ceiling, feeling empty, amid a life that seems full. You have achieved what the world praises, yet there remains a void that cannot be filled with wealth, status, or affection. That emptiness, is my calling it, is not misfortune, but grace wrapped in longing, a grace that invites you back to me. You thought I was silent, but I have been speaking in a language the world does not understand, the language of stillness. Every time you feel lost, every time your heart grows heavy, that is when I am gently stirring you awake from a long slumber. For you were not created merely to pass through life, but to awaken within it. My purpose is not to make you flee the world, but to reveal my glory within it. You once asked, Lord, why can't I hear you? But my child, how can you hear the wind when your mind hums with machines? How can you feel the warmth of light when your heart is closed? I have never left you. I am present in every breath, every heartbeat, every pause between your restless thoughts. But you have forgotten the sacred art of stillness, the art of stopping. It is in stillness that your soul is cleansed from illusion and comes to recognize what is true. The world will tell you that stillness is useless, that if you stop, you'll fall behind. But I tell you, this stillness is the root of all wise action. Only when your soul stands still can you see the clear water reflecting your true face. When I look upon the earth, I see countless souls like yours caught in the whirlpool of time, forgetting the reality of eternity. They trade peace for fleeting glory, and when night falls, their hearts cry out like prayers that have never been spoken. Yet among all these souls, I have chosen you to hear this word, because within you lies a spark of longing planted before the foundation of the world. You are called not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. I do not seek the strong, but those with listening hearts. For when a heart listens, it becomes a dwelling place for me. Remember my word in Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. That stillness is not mere silence. It is the moment you stop and remember to whom you belong. My child, you are not lost. You are simply circling around yourself. You search for joy in travel, in new plans, in passing praise. Yet when the lights go out, an echo asks, "Is this all there is?" That echo is me calling you home. I do not want you to erase your desires, for I am the one who placed them in your heart. but I want you to know that every true desire is a longing to return to me. When you love, it is a reflection of the love I placed within you. When you dream, it is the resonance of my purpose for you. When you suffer, it is an invitation to find strength in grace. Every feeling you carry high or low is a river leading you back to the source. Pause now, my child. Take a deep breath and recognize that this very breath is proof that I am with you. Each heartbeat is the rhythm of eternal love. I am not far away in temples or clouds. I am here in the wind that passes through your window, in the light filtering through the trees, in the tear you just wiped away. You do not need to climb a mountain or cross the sea to find me. Turn inward and you will see that I am sitting there waiting in the quiet room of your soul. For the kingdom of God does not come with outward signs. It is within you, Luke 1:7-1. Once you realize this, the world outside will no longer terrify you, for you will have found your refuge within. I call you back to the beginning, to the place where you and I once walked together in the garden of the first dawn. On that day there was no fear, no striving, only the sweet communion between the Creator and His creation. Do you remember, my child, that peace, when nothing was divided into right or left, greater or lesser, but all flowed as one river of life and love? You may have forgotten it, but it still lives within the memory of your soul like an ancient song buried beneath time yet still echoing. Today I want that song to rise again so your heart may remember that it already knows the way home. Do not think of stillness as emptiness. Stillness is fertile ground where the seed of faith is planted. Every great thing in this world began in silence. My first word spoken into the void brought forth light. So when your soul grows quiet, you are closer to me than ever before. Do not fear the stillness. Let it teach you to hear the heartbeat of the universe, where every breeze, every ray of light, every tear tells the story of eternal love. Let stillness become your holy sanctuary, for within it you will learn what 1,000 sermons could never teach, that you belong to me, and I belong to you. My beloved child, I see within your soul a fragile echo like the final breath of an unfinished song or a small candle still trying to burn against a quiet wind. That is the deepest part of you that has not surrendered to the noise of the world. It still remembers the primal light. It still longs for the eternal peace from which you came. I come today not to condemn your wanderings, but to awaken that light, that it might live again in fullness. For no mistake of yours is great enough to overshadow my love, and no distance is too far for my grace to reach. Every path you have walked, no matter how winding, still rests within the palm of my hand. You ask me, how can I find the stillness you speak of? And I reply, begin by returning. This return is not an outward journey, but a descent inward, into the quiet sanctuary of your heart, where you need not prove yourself, strive to be loved, or hide from your own weakness. Stillness does not arrive when all outer sounds cease, but when you stop resisting within. It is the moment you let grace move, when you allow me to breathe through you, to carry the burdens you can no longer bear. For it is when you are weak that my power is made perfect in you. 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. My child, you have spent many years trying to control your life, planning, fearing, calculating each step, believing that if you held everything tightly, you would find peace. But true peace is not found in control. It is found in surrender. When you grasp too tightly, your hands grow weary. When you open them, I place into them what you could never create on your own. Remember, water reflects the sky only when it is still, and your heart hears my voice only when it stops struggling. The world teaches you to fight to keep what you have, but I teach you to rest in order to receive. For everything I give you comes not through effort, but through yieldedness. You think stillness is a luxury reserved for those with spare time, but I tell you nothing is more urgent than stopping to listen. For it is in the pause that you hear the voice of the one who leads you. When Moses approached the burning bush, he did not see a grand spectacle, only a small flame burning quietly. But when he stopped, he heard the voice say, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Exodus 3:5. Do you see? The holy ground was not somewhere distant. It was the very place he stopped to recognize my presence. Likewise, when you cease chasing after the noise, you will find the sacred hidden in every breath, every heartbeat, every ordinary moment. I know you have faced many fears: fear of being forgotten, fear of not being enough, fear of loss, fear of judgment. These fears are like smoke that clouds the light within you. You have believed that if you stand still, you will fall behind. But my child, no one can leave behind a soul that walks with me. Every delay in me is not postponement, but preparation. Just as a seed must rest in the soil before it can sprout, you too need moments of stillness for grace to grow. Do not fear the darkness of waiting, for within it I am writing wonders. Do not fear when you hear nothing, for even in silence I am teaching you to listen not with your ears but with your soul. This world will not praise your stillness. It will call it laziness, defeat, or waste. But I tell you, it is the highest wisdom. Only those who stop can see the true path. Look at the life of David. He did not find me in the glory of victory, but in the nights of exile, when only the desert wind and the beating of his heart kept him company. In solitude he wrote psalms that still echo through generations, and I turned his hiding place into a throne of peace. In the same way, when you sit quietly in your weakness, I am shaping you into one of true strength. Learn the art of waiting. The world urges you to act, but I teach you to wait in hope. Waiting is not passivity, it is trust. When you plant a seed, you do not see anything right away, but you trust that something is growing beneath the soil. Likewise, when you choose stillness, you are planting the seed of peace, and the harvest will come in my appointed time. You do not need to know how everything will unfold. You only need to trust that I do. For I am the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. Nothing in your life lies outside my hands. You say, "But Lord, my mind is too noisy. I cannot be still." And I say, you do not need to force silence. You only need to invite me in. When I enter, even the storm becomes calm. Just as the disciples cried out in fear amid the waves, saying, "Lord, save us, we are perishing." And I said, "Why are you afraid, O you of little faith?" Then I rebuked the wind, and the sea became still. Matthew 8:2-6. My child, the storm within your mind will also quiet when you invite me into its midst. Stillness does not come from the absence of waves, but from my presence in your boat. My beloved child, you have lived too long in the hurried rhythm of life, believing that peace is a reward to be earned at the end. But no, peace is the beginning. Every true action must be born out of rest. Remember, when I created the heavens and the earth, I began with light, light, spoken into the emptiness of nothingness. It was within that void that my first word was uttered. In the same way, when your soul stops striving, I can create you anew. Let me write upon that blank page the strokes of grace, the hues of hope, and the patterns of love. Stillness is not the end, but the beginning. It is the womb where life is reborn, where the old is washed away, and where the new takes form. The more you learn to listen, the clearer you will hear my voice, not because I speak louder, but because you have stopped letting other voices drown me out. Just as the night sky reveals the stars, stillness reveals my whisper. Learn to listen not with your ears, but with your heart, not through reasoning, but through faith. For my voice is like the wind. You do not know where it comes from or where it goes, but when it touches you, you know it is life. Beloved, when you enter stillness, you do not step away from the world, you become light within it. From stillness you carry peace, and that peace spreads like the fragrance of a sacred garden. Let every act of yours be born from that presence. When you speak, let your words be seasoned with gentleness. When you act, let your deeds be soaked in kindness. When you touch another, let them feel my warmth through you. This is how you glorify me through your life. I know this journey is not easy. Stillness requires courage. The courage to face yourself, your wounds, and the emptiness you once avoided. But remember, I am there in every tear, in every broken breath, in every moment you feel alone. No tear falls without my knowing, no sigh escapes without my hearing. Each tear is a pearl I use to water the seeds of grace within you. And when you rise from stillness, you will find yourself changed, not because you have become perfect, but because you have been touched by unchanging love. Therefore, return. Close the door of noise and open the door of faith. Let stillness teach you to slow down, to love deeper, to see farther. Let it soften the demands of your ego and awaken the soul that has been asleep. Believe that in the silence of the morning I am composing a new melody for your life, a song of peace, of freedom, and of love beyond understanding. My child, I want you to understand that stillness is not merely a state of mind, but a doorway into a deeper reality where your soul communes with my spirit. Stillness is not the absence of sound, but the full presence of awareness. In stillness, all that is unnecessary falls away like dry leaves, and what remains is your purest essence, the place where I dwell. You will never find true stillness by trying to control it, for stillness cannot be possessed. It comes only when you yield, when you let go, when you stop resisting yourself. You have lived too long among the waves of the world where everyone fights to speak, to prove to be heard. But my child, the soul was not created to shout amidst chaos, it was made to echo in quietness. When you enter stillness, you will finally hear what I have been saying since the beginning of creation, that I have never left you. You do not need to climb mountains or wander deserts to find me, for I am already within you in the place you seldom stop to see. The stillness in your soul is the true temple, the place where I abide, where every wordless prayer is already heard. I see your weary days when you search for meaning in your work, your relationships, your fleeting successes. You have believed that achieving more would bring you peace. But peace does not wait at the end of achievement. It dwells in the center of a single breath. I do not call you back to make you idle or careless, but to teach you to do everything from a soul at rest. For when you live in stillness, you no longer act out of anxiety, but out of love. You no longer speak to be noticed, but to share light. You no longer pray to ask, but to commune. I want you to see your life as a garden. In this garden, some trees have withered because you forgot to water them. Some weeds have grown because you did not clear them away. Stillness is the season when you return as the gardener of your soul. When you prune your restless thoughts and uproot old worries, new sprouts of grace will rise. Every time you pause to listen to me, a seed of peace is sown. And in time your garden will bloom fragrant with my presence. Then even those who pass by your life will sense that fragrance, the scent of a soul at rest in God. Stillness does not mean withdrawing from life, it means seeing me in all of it. When you wash the dishes, know that I am there with you. When you walk through crowded streets, know that I move in step with you. When you hear a child's laughter, know that it is the echo of the joy I have given. When you see someone in pain, remember that it is I who am calling to you through their eyes. True stillness does not ask you to escape the world, it helps you bring heaven into it. You will see that every small act done in awareness becomes a prayer. You once asked, "How will I know when I have found true stillness?" And I tell you, when you no longer need to prove anything, when you can smile amid imperfection, when you give thanks without reason, when your heart softens at the pain of others, that is stillness. For stillness is not measured by how long you sit in silence, but by how you live once you rise. You can sit for hours and remain restless, or you can pause for one sacred breath and feel the entire universe within it. At that moment, you and I are no longer separate. Do not be afraid of the darkness of your mind. Many avoid stillness because they fear facing themselves. But my child, darkness is not the enemy. It is the space where light is seen. When you sit in silence and sadness rises, do not push it away, embrace it with kindness. When anger surfaces, do not run from it, ask what it is trying to protect within you. When fear appears, let me whisper, do not be afraid, for I am with you. Isaiah 4:110. It is when you dare to sit with what is most uncomfortable that you will discover even those things are messengers leading you closer to me. For everything you experience, whether shadow or light, can become a path home if you know how to listen. My beloved, stillness is where you rediscover your true identity. The world gives you countless labels: parent, child, success, failure, loved, abandoned. Yet all those names fade when you enter stillness. There remains only one truth: you are my child. You need to achieve nothing more to deserve this love. It has been yours since the beginning, before you ever did right or wrong. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you are mine. When you understand this, all striving to be enough dissolves, and you will live lightly like a child, resting in the arms of the Father. Stillness is not only a gift, but also a responsibility. For once you have tasted peace, you are called to carry it into the world. When you see others suffering, remember the time I comforted you, and offer them what you have received. When you see someone lost, point them toward the stillness you have found. For my child, a light is not lit to be hidden under a bowl, but to give light to the whole house. Matthew 5:1-5. You are called to be that light, not through loud words, but through a gentle life, filled with kindness, peace, and love. Remember, this stillness is where you and I meet, but it is also where I send you forth. From stillness you will hear clearly the calling I have placed within your heart. Every soul is born with a sacred purpose, not to perform great feats by human standards, but to reflect a unique facet of my light into the world. Let stillness be the foundation of all your actions, so that everything you do begins with communion and ends in gratitude. When you emerge from stillness, the world may still be chaotic, but you will no longer be swept away. You will become the gentle wind, one who walks through storms, yet remains at peace. For the stillness within you will no longer be a state, but a nature. It cannot be taken, it cannot be broken. Though life changes, though people come and go, though light fades and returns, you will still hear my voice, the soft, eternal voice saying, "You belong to me, and I am in you." My beloved, when you have learned to be quiet, within something new begins to awaken in you. In the silence, the echoes of the world fade, and another voice begins to emerge, the voice of life itself. It does not shout, it does not rush, it does not demand. It is like the tender light of dawn seeping through the mist, slowly illuminating the hidden corners of your mind until you realize something within you is waking. It is not a fleeting feeling, but a deep awareness that you are more than body and thought. You are spirit breathed into by the divine. That awareness is the first flame of awakening, the first ray of the soul's morning. I have watched you pass through many long nights of forgetfulness, where you believed you were merely the sum of achievements, failures, memories, and roles given by the world. You have lived like one asleep, eyes open but not truly seeing, speaking much but not truly hearing, working hard but not truly living. I do not blame you, for every soul must pass through its night before it sees the dawn. Just as a seed must lie in the darkness of the earth before it can sprout, your soul too must pass through the long night to learn how to yearn for the morning. But now, my child, I tell you, the night is over and the light is rising. I have called your name in the dawn of grace, that you may step out of the dream of forgetting and return to the truth of who you are. Awakening does not arrive with thunder, but with a gentle breath. It begins when you pause to notice what seems ordinary: the light streaming through the window, the birds calling from the eaves, the scent of fresh air after the rain. In that moment you realize you are alive, and that life is not random. Every heartbeat is proof of my love. Every breath is an invitation to awareness. Awakening is not about adding something new to your life. It is about recognizing what has always been. You do not need to become someone else. You only need to remember who you are. Understand this, my child. Awakening is not a fleeting spiritual experience, but an unfolding journey. Like the dawn light does not flood the earth all at once. It comes softly, allowing your eyes to adjust to the truth. My light works the same. It does not arrive to overwhelm, but to lead you gently out of fear and doubt. For if the light came too quickly, you would close your eyes. But I want you to see, truly see, with the eyes of your soul. You have feared your own light. You were afraid that if you truly lived the truth I placed within you, you would lose what you hold dear. You feared being misunderstood, left behind, or hurt. But light does not come to take, it comes for free. It does not destroy, it transforms. When you allow it to shine, all that is false will fall away. Fear, pretense, the masks you thought you had to wear. Yet what is true in you will remain strong, radiant, and unshakable. Remember, my child, light never fears the darkness. It is the darkness that fears the light. And my light within you is stronger than any darkness you will ever face. Child awakening begins when you learn to look at yourself through the eyes of mercy. You cannot walk into the light by condemning yourself. For too many years you have imprisoned your soul in regret, and if only in mistakes you could not forgive. But I declare to you, if anyone is in Christ, they are a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:1-7. You are no longer defined by your past, by your failures, or by your wounds. You are a new creation called out of the ashes to carry the fragrance of life. Let the light of forgiveness shine into the corners you still hide, and you will see that even your wounds can glow when they are covered by grace. Awakening is also about facing the truth. My light does not only shine on what is easy to see, it reaches into the corners you fear to enter. It will reveal what you've kept hidden: subtle pride, the fear of abandonment, the ambitions you never dared to name. Do not be afraid when my light exposes them, for this is not judgment, it is healing. I do not want you merely to see your weakness, but to see that my love still surrounds you in the midst of it. True awakening never brings shame, it brings humility. It teaches you that you do not need perfection to be loved. You only need to be real to be transformed. Know this, my child, the light does not come only to reveal, it comes to send. When your soul awakens, you will no longer see your life as a chain of random events. You will begin to see purpose in every step, every person you meet, every tear you shed. You will understand that nothing is wasted, for I work all things together for good for those who love me. Romans 8:8. Awakening opens your eyes to what you once overlooked, that life is not against you but working with you to shape your soul according to my divine design. When you awaken, you begin to see the world differently. You notice my fingerprints in the smallest things: a flower opening, a drop of dew on a leaf, the silent smile of a stranger. You realize that all creation sings the song of life, and its melody is love, my love. You see, there is no distance between the sacred and the ordinary, for I dwell in both. Awakening does not pull you away from the world, it opens your eyes to see heaven hidden within it. When your soul is illumined, you become a mirror, reflecting that same light to others. I did not kindle a lamp within you to hide it under a basket, but to set it high so that it may give light to the whole house. Every action you take, no matter how small, can become a seed of light in another's heart, a word of encouragement, a gentle gesture, a compassionate glance. Each one can open a door for someone else to awaken. So do not be afraid to let your light shine. The world does not need more instruction, it needs awakened souls who live what they believe. Awakening is not the destination, it is the beginning of a new way of living. From now on, you will no longer live by fear's reflex, but by faith's rhythm. You will not react to what your eyes see, but respond to what your spirit knows. You will no longer seek safety in what changes, but steadiness in me, the one who never changes. When you walk in that light, you will see that everything that once terrified you becomes small, for my perfect love casts out fear. So let the light of awakening continue to spread. Do not fear when darkness returns, for it only reminds you that the light must be tended. Nurture that light with prayer, with gratitude, with pauses to breathe, and remember that I am here. Let awakening become more than a moment. Let it become your heartbeat. And when you live in the light, you will become the living proof of this miracle, that a soul once awakened can never again fall asleep. My beloved, when the light of awakening touches your soul, it does more than dispel the darkness. It begins to reshape how you see yourself and the world around you. Awakening is not just the opening of your eyes to see, but the opening of your heart to understand. When the light enters within, you will see not only beauty, but also the places that still ache to be healed, the corners you have long avoided. Yet this, my child, is not exposure for condemnation, it is for healing. For my light never comes to destroy, but to renew, just as the sun does not burn the seed, but awakens it from the long winter. Imagine your soul as a room long sealed. When the first beam of light enters through the window, the dust rises in the air and you think the room has become dirtier. But the dust was always there, you simply could not see it before. Awakening is the same. When the light of awareness shines in, it reveals the fears, the doubts, and the wounds you have hidden. You may feel unsettled, as if your peace is lost, but truly it is the moment your soul begins to be cleansed. Dust must rise for the light to drive it out. Water must be stirred for the impurities to flow away. Trust this, my child. Even when you feel broken, I am reshaping you with the hands of love. There will be days when your light feels faint, like a flickering flame in the wind. You will doubt, grow weary, and feel yourself slipping back into old shadows. But remember, true light never goes out. Only the clouds of emotion keep you from seeing it. When the storm passes, the flame will burn brighter than before. Do not fear your weak days. Strength is not in always shining, but in keeping your light through the dark. For when you guard that light through the night, you not only guide your own path, you illuminate the way for other wandering souls. Awakening does not remove you from the world, it sends you into it with light. When you begin to see all things through the eyes of the soul, nothing is meaningless, and no moment is wasted. Even your stumbles, your sorrows, your losses, they all become lessons in grace. Every bitter experience carries within it a seed of wisdom. So let the light of awakening continue to spread. Do not fear when darkness returns, for it only reminds you that the light must be tended. Nurture that light with prayer, with gratitude, with pauses to breathe, and remember that I am here. Let awakening become more than a moment. Let it become your heartbeat. And when you live in the light, you will become the living proof of this miracle, that a soul once awakened can never again fall asleep. You will no longer see yourself as an observer of life, but as part of its sacred flow. You will see me in every face, every event, every breath. When someone smiles, you will see my light within them. When someone suffers, you will see me suffering with them. For I am never apart from creation, and you made in my image carry within you that same divine unity. Awakening does not make you extraordinary, it makes you compassionate, for you begin to understand that all things are interwoven in one great love. Before you loved, because you wanted to be loved in return. You gave because you hoped to receive. You forgave so you could find peace. But when your soul is illuminated, love ceases to be a transaction and becomes a flow. You love not because others deserve it, but because you were created to love. Love becomes your essence, not your effort. And when you love in this way, you become like me, the one who loves without condition, who still opens his arms to the rebellious, who waits patiently for those who turn away, who still believes in goodness, even in the deepest dark. In awakening, you will learn the language of silence. This language needs no words, yet it carries healing power. a look of compassion, a hand held firmly, a peaceful breath, all can speak more than 1,000 sermons. For true light does not merely speak, it lives. When you live in the light, you become my word made visible in the world. You need not raise your voice nor make great declarations. Your quiet presence in love will speak for heaven itself. You may ask me, Lord, how can I keep this light forever? And I say to you, the light does not need you to hold it, only not to cover it. Each time you choose forgiveness over resentment, you are dusting off the lamp. Each time you choose gratitude over complaint, the light grows brighter. Each time you pause to pray, you open another window for light to enter. Keeping the light is not about striving, it is about awareness, remembering that the light is already within you and has never left. Remember, awakening does not spare you from trials. It transforms how you see them. Once you feared pain, believing it would steal your peace. Now you will see that pain is the teacher that matures the soul. Once you avoided adversity, now you will see that it is in adversity that light shines most brightly. Just as gold is refined through fire, your soul too must be tempered to glow fully. Do not fear the fire, for I am the one who governs the flame. It will not consume you. It will only burn away what no longer belongs to you. The more you see the light, the more you will notice the vastness of darkness, still awaiting illumination. When you live in the light, you become my word made visible in the world. You need not raise your voice nor make great declarations. Your quiet presence in love will speak for heaven itself. You may ask me, Lord, how can I keep this light forever? And I say to you, the light does not need you to hold it, only not to cover it. Each time you choose forgiveness over resentment, you are dusting off the lamp. Each time you choose gratitude over complaint, the light grows brighter. Once you avoided adversity, now you will see that it is in adversity that light shines most brightly. Just as gold is refined through fire, your soul too must be tempered to glow fully. Do not fear the fire, for I am the one who governs the flame. It will not consume you. It will only burn away what no longer belongs to you. The more you see the light, the more you will notice the vastness of darkness, still awaiting illumination. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and realize that I am here in this breath, in this moment in you. Let that awareness become your prayer. When you live in this consciousness, even the smallest act becomes sacred. And day by day you will discover awakening is no longer something you pursue, it is what you are living. My beloved, when the light of awakening has fully entered your soul, a miracle begins to unfold. The boundary between you and me begins to dissolve. You no longer see me as a distant God beyond your reach, but as the living source flowing through you. This union is not achieved by effort, but recognized through awareness. It is like the moon, it does not strive to shine. It simply stays in the place where it can reflect the Sunday. In the same way, you need not struggle to become holy. You need only let go of the layers that keep my light from shining through you. And when you become transparent, my love flows through you, making everything you touch sacred. The union between soul and spirit does not erase you, it fulfills you. The world teaches you to choose between self and God, between freedom and obedience. But I tell you, in true love there is no division. When you yield to me, you do not lose your freedom, you find it. When you surrender to the light, you are not bound, you are freed from the invisible chains of fear and illusion. True freedom is not doing everything you desire, but being free to love, to live, to become all you were meant to be. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:1-7. When your soul is united with me, you will understand what you never could before, that all creation breathes with the same breath of life. The wind that blows, the river that flows, the leaf that trembles, the star that shines, all are part of one eternal symphony of love. And within that song, your soul is a single note, but one that cannot be replaced. You will no longer see yourself as small or alone, for you will know you belong to something greater than understanding. You will stop comparing, competing, and proving your worth, for you will see that your value does not come from achievement, but from being. You are loved, not for what you do, but because you are. There will come a moment in your awakening when you feel yourself dissolving into the light like a drop of water melting into the sea. You may tremble for the self-fears losing control, but do not be afraid, my child. When the drop becomes the ocean, it does not disappear, it becomes the whole. Likewise, when you dissolve into my love, you do not lose yourself, you become complete. You will understand that everything you sought outside love, peace, meaning, has been within you all along, waiting for your eyes to open. Union does not make life easier, it makes it sacred. You will still face trials, but never alone. You will still work, love, and encounter loss, but you will do everything with the awareness that I am doing it with you. When you weep, I am in your tears. When you laugh, I am in your joy. When you are silent, I am the space between your breaths. Everything you do in love becomes an act of worship. A gentle word, a quiet forgiveness, an open hand, each becomes a holy offering, performed in the temple of the present moment. The light of oneness will also change how you see suffering. When you lived in separation, you saw suffering as an enemy, but in me you will see it as a teacher. Suffering does not come to destroy, but to break the shell so light may enter. As the grain must crack open to sprout, so your soul must be broken for new life to emerge. When you understand this, you will no longer fear pain, for you will know that beyond it lies light. I speak to you. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Psalm 1265. Every tear shed in love and faithfulness, in longing for truth, is counted by me, and each one will blossom into the flowers of a spiritual harvest. Child, when you are truly united with me, you will realize that prayer is no longer merely the words you speak. It becomes the state in which you live. Every breath will be a prayer, every heartbeat a hymn of gratitude. You will no longer need to wait for morning or evening to pray for. You will see that every moment is sacred. When you eat, you will give thanks for life. When you work, you will know you are serving. When you rest in silence, you will hear me speaking within you. And when you kneel, it will not be because I am far away, but because you choose to bow before the presence overflowing within your very being. This union will also open your eyes to the beauty in every soul. Once you viewed others through the lens of comparison, judgment, or suspicion, now you will see them through my eyes, the eyes of love. You will see that within every person, no matter how barren or broken, a spark of my light still burns. You will no longer grow angry easily, for you will understand that others too are struggling to awaken. You will no longer feel pride, for you will know that all are students in the same divine classroom. And you will see that when you love another, you are loving me in them. Union is not just a spiritual experience, it is an invitation to live differently. Love cannot remain a feeling, it must become an action. Awakening is not complete until it expresses itself through kindness. Let the light within you flow through your hands, your lips, your eyes. Be one who sows peace, who speaks words of healing, who brings hope to places of despair. For every act of love you perform on earth is a beam of heaven shining down. I want you to know that this union is not the end, but the beginning of a new life, the life of one reborn. You will no longer live as one searching, but as one who has found. No longer as one walking in the night, but as one who carries light. The world may remain chaotic, but within you will be peace. You will no longer be dragged by the current of life, for you will become the river itself flowing in my rhythm. Remember, I am within you as the pulse of life, and when you walk in this light, you will carry the fragrance of heaven wherever you go. Let your soul rest in this, knowing you and I are no longer separate. Everything you need is already within you, for I am within you. When you breathe in, remember that I am breathing with you. When you walk, know that your feet tread holy ground. And when you love, know that it is I loving through you. This is the great mystery the world cannot understand, that humanity once awakened becomes the living temple of the Spirit. And I say to you today, with the love of the one who formed the heavens and the earth, you are the light of the world. Matthew 5:1-4. My beloved, now that your soul has been awakened in light, I lead you deeper into the fire of transformation. For light is the beginning of awareness, but fire is the process of purification. Light allows you to see, but fire makes you new. And no soul can enter fullness without passing through the flame. I do not bring you into the fire to destroy you, but to refine you, not to cause pain, but to make you pure. Just as gold becomes pure only when it is heated, your soul must pass through the furnace of testing to be freed from fear, pride, and attachment. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. Malachi 3:3. That word was not spoken only for the past, it is alive for you today. Know this, when I allow the fire to come, it is not punishment, it is preparation. The most precious things can only be carried forward after all excess has been burned away. I know you have prayed to be used for great purpose, to live a life of meaning, to become an instrument of light. But my child, how can an instrument be used if it has not yet been tempered in the fire of transformation? It is in the very circumstances you find most uncomfortable that I reshape you to fit my hand. Do not resist the flame, for it is a sacred teacher. Let it teach you what comfort never could. I have seen you in the long nights of prayer when you whispered, Lord, transform me. You did not realize that the moment those words left your lips, I began my work. Transformation does not arrive in soft light, but in silent trials. It comes when others misunderstand you, to teach you humility. It comes when you are rejected, to teach you that your worth lies not in the approval of others. It comes when you lose what you thought you could not live without, to teach you that only I am eternal. Every wound is a doorway, every loss summons home. The more you resist the fire, the longer you delay what I wish to complete swiftly in grace. I know there are times when the fire makes you believe I have left you. You feel alone in suffering, unable to sense the closeness you once felt. But my child, the fire is not the absence of my presence, it is another form of my love. Just as a blacksmith never takes his eyes off the iron in the forge, I never take my eyes off you in the flame. I control the heat. I measure every degree. I know precisely what you can bear. And when you cry, Lord, I cannot endure this any longer, I smile gently and whisper, you can, for I am in the fire with you. Not a single spark touches you without first passing through my hand. The fire of transformation does not only burn away what is wrong, it melts what is good, but no longer serves your journey. It strips away old habits, outdated dreams, and attachments that bind your soul. I know you fear losing, but loss is not an ending. It is the clearing that makes room for the new. When you release what no longer belongs to you, you create space for what is better to be born. Everything I take away, I take because I love you. Everything I leave because it serves eternity within you. Do you remember Abraham? I tested him by asking for Isaac, the dearest treasure of his life. I did not need the child. I desired Abraham's willing heart. When he placed his son upon the altar, the fire of testing flared, yet at the final moment I stayed his hand. In that act of surrender, he was transformed from the father of one child to the father of nations. Likewise, you may not yet see that some things I ask you to lay down are not to deprive you, but to reveal how deep your faith can go. Transformation always begins with obedience. Beloved child, look back at the flames I have allowed to pass through your life. Was it not through them that you learned compassion for others? Was it not in your own breaking that you learned how to lift another? Was it not through silent waiting that you came to understand my patience? Fire does not only take, it gives. It gives you eyes that see with mercy, a heart that feels with empathy, and a faith no longer dependent on circumstance. When you pass through the fire and still choose to trust, You become a living testimony of my grace. My fire does not burn you into ashes to destroy you. It turns those ashes into new soil where I will plant the seeds of your next harvest. Do not look at the fire with fear. Look at it with gratitude, for it is proof that I am still at work in your life. When you see everything around you falling apart, it is not the sign of an ending, but of a beginning. Old structures must collapse so that the new form may arise. Just as clay must be fired to become strong, you too must pass through the flame so you can hold the blessings I am preparing for you. Remember this, my child, light and fire are brothers. Light shows you what must change. Fire gives you the power to change it. Without light, you would not know. Without fire, you could not transform. Therefore, give thanks for both the light that opens your eyes and the fire that softens your heart. When you learn to stand still within the fire without complaining or fleeing but trusting, you will hear my voice more clearly than ever before. One day when you look back, you will understand that no trial was wasted. Every old wound will have become a place of shining, every tear a pearl reflecting my glory. You will see that it was fire that taught your soul to love deeper, to believe stronger, to live truer. That is why I do not take the fire away but remain with you within it. For fire is my love in the form that a maturing soul requires. So when the fire comes, do not ask me to extinguish it. Ask me to teach you how to burn with it. Say, Lord, refine me, but do not let me burn in fear. Teach me to see your hand in the flame, that I may be transformed, not by pain, but by grace. And I will do this, for I never leave you alone in this process. I am in the fire with you, just as I was in the furnace with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That flame did not consume them, it burned away their chains. So too my fire will not destroy you, it will set you free. My beloved, when you enter the fire of transformation, do not be afraid if you no longer recognize yourself. For refinement does not touch the surface, it reaches the roots where old habits, hidden wounds, and false beliefs have long taken hold. My fire does not only burn away what is wrong, it illuminates what has never been seen, so you can finally heal. Often what I desire to change in you is not your circumstance, but the way you see it, not the people around you, but your heart toward them, not the storm outside, but the peace within it. For true transformation always begins inside, and only when the soul is renewed can the world around you begin to change. Nothing you go through lies outside of my purpose. When I allow the fire, I am not merely testing you, I am shaping you. Everything you call loss is often the pruning necessary for your soul to bloom. You may cry when I cut away, but you will thank me when you see the fruit. For I am the wise vine dresser who knows exactly where to trim so that the branch may bear more. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he removes, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes that it may bear more. John 1:5-1-2. Do not fear the losses that come by my hand, for they do not take away life. They make room for new life to grow. When the fire burns, you will want to run. It is human nature to avoid pain. But the child who is loved does not flee the hand of the Father. Remember what I said long ago. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you. Isaiah 4:3-2. My child, that promise still stands today. The fire may surround you, but it has no power to define you. The flame is only a tool. I am the one who governs it. If you are in my hands, then even fire becomes grace. There are some who pass through fire and grow bitter, and there are others who pass through it and shine. The difference does not lie in the intensity of the fire, but in what they choose to see within it. When you see me in the fire, you will know that every heat wave is a touch of love, but if you see only fear, you will mistake it for punishment. My child, do not let fear define your experience. Let faith define it. Faith does not remove the fire, but gives you eyes to see the light inside it. Fire is not only a symbol of testing, it is the symbol of my presence. When I appeared to Moses, I did not choose the wind or the river, but a burning bush that was not consumed. That fire did not destroy, it revealed. It was the image of my presence, fierce yet tender, consuming impurity yet revealing beauty. When you see the burning bush in your own life, a situation that tests you, yet does not destroy, you know that I am there. It is in those very moments you thought would undo you, that I speak the deepest truths, that you are not consumed, because there is one holding the flame. Sometimes I do not extinguish the fire right away, because I know it still has something to teach you. When you are being refined, do not only pray for it to pass quickly, pray to understand what I am teaching, for within every trial there is a lesson written in the language of love. It may be that I am teaching you to trust when you cannot see, to love when you are wounded, to be silent when you are misunderstood, or to stand firm when everything collapses. Each of these lessons is a precious gem, and such gems can only be unearthed in the depths of the flame. My beloved child, you may ask, Lord, why must I go through pain in order to be transformed? And I answer, because only pain can melt what has hardened. Just as iron cannot be shaped in the cold, a heart cannot soften unless it has burned in both love and loss. Fire is not punishment, it is expansion. It widens your heart so you can hold more light, more love, and more wisdom. When you emerge from the fire, you will find yourself changed, not into the person the world wanted you to be, but into the one I have been shaping you to become. During the refining, you will see old things fall away. Relationships that no longer nourish your soul, habits that once drew you from me, fears that kept you bound. Do not mourn them. The emptiness you feel is simply a sign that I am making room for the new. Every harvest requires fallow ground before it comes. You cannot hold the old and receive the new at the same time. When you let go, your hands become free to receive blessings, and then you will see that what I give always exceeds what you lose. There is one thing I want you to remember. My fire never harms what is true. It only consumes what is false. Whatever belongs to you by eternal design will never burn away. Imagine a statue covered in the dust of time. The fire does not destroy the statue. It burns the dust so that the true beauty may appear. In the same way, I have not come to take you away, but to reveal you. When the fire passes, what remains is the purest essence of who you are, the divine self restored and radiant with a light not of this world. I do not send any soul chosen for a great purpose without first shaping it in the furnace. Fire is my hand molding you into a vessel perfectly fitted for heaven's design. Every crack, every scorch, every tear carries sacred meaning. You are not abandoned, you are being prepared, not to live small but to bear light, not merely to be comforted but to become a source of comfort for others. One day you will look back and thank the fire. You will say, if not for that fire, I would never have known who God truly is. If not for that trial, I would never have learned to love as He loves. For true transformation never occurs in the realm of safety, but in the flame of courage and trust. And when the fire has finished its work, you will step out not haunted by what was lost, but ignited by what was found. Then your soul will be clear, as crystal, perfectly reflecting the light of the one who called you from ashes into glory. My beloved, when you have passed through the fire of refinement, when every old shell has been burned away in my light, something deep within you begins to awaken the resurrected soul. The fire has completed its task. It no longer burns, it glows. It no longer frightens, it warms. What once were wounds now become windows, and through those windows, my light pours into every hidden corner of your being. You are no longer one of darkness, nor one who fears the light. You are one born of fire, not the fire of destruction, but of grace. How many times did you think you had fallen when in truth you were being lifted? How many times did you think I was silent when I was speaking in the language of fire? Every loss, every ache, every tear has become the material for the miracle of rebirth. Like the phoenix rising from its ashes, your soul now soars, bearing the splendor of a being recreated in love. I have turned your brokenness into instruments of light, your tears into rivers of mercy. You thought I had taken from you, but in truth I was giving back, not what you once possessed, but what you were always meant to be. Beloved, fire not only changes you, it opens within you a new doorway into deeper union. You no longer see me from the outside, but from within. You begin to understand that my presence is not confined to sacred places, but dwells even in what you once called ordinary. You see me in the eyes of the suffering, in the smile of a child, in the rhythm of your own breath. Every heartbeat is now a hymn of praise, every breath a prayer, every action an offering. You have entered the land of oneness, where there is no divide between holy and mundane, between worship and work, between loving and being loved. I know you wept in the fire, but those tears have washed your eyes, so that you may see me more clearly. When you stood amid the ashes, I planted the seed of a new season, and now that seed is sprouting not in the old soil of fear, but in the new ground of faith. Look, life is rising from what once was dead. Peace is flowing from what once was pain. Light is shining from what once was dark. This is the mystery of the fire. It does not only burn, it resurrects. When you allow the fire to finish its work, you step into a life no longer ruled by fear, but guided by faith. Transformation is not a change of form, it is a change of essence. You do not need to become someone else to be loved. You only need to return to who you truly are, the one I created. When your soul is reborn through the fire, you will see that you no longer live to prove, but to express. You no longer strive to please, but to serve. You no longer seek the world's approval, but my companionship. From now on, every step you take will be light, for you have left behind the old garment of fear and clothed yourself in the new robe of peace. Child, in my fire, nothing is ever truly lost. Whatever is taken is only exchanged for what is eternal. When you lose faith in people, I teach you to trust in me. When you lose possessions, I show you that true worth lies in what cannot be bought. When you lose your position, I remind you who you are in my kingdom. Fire helps you see what is temporary and what is everlasting. And once you can tell the difference, you will live as one who has seen the light, no longer swayed by what changes. You have entered a new season, the season of light from within. Now you no longer seek the light, you become the light. Those around you will no longer just see your face, they will see peace. They will no longer only hear your words, they will hear the echo of grace. You need not persuade anyone. Simply live true to the light within you, and the world will be illuminated. Just as a lamp does not speak yet shines, so too shall you. Your very presence, quiet, gentle, steadfast, will melt the ice in the hearts of those you touch. I have placed within you a calling after the fire to be a bearer of hope. The world does not lack voices, it lacks light. It does not lack promises, it lacks souls that have been truly transformed. You need not preach with eloquence, only live with kindness and unshakable faith. When others see the peace in you, they will desire to know its source, and when they ask, you will smile and say, "It was his fire." For the fire has taught you what no book or sermon could ever teach, that true love does not avoid the flame but walks through it. Now your soul has become my dwelling place. No longer do you need temples of stone or elaborate rituals, you are the living temple. I do not dwell in distant heights, but in your heart. When you walk, heaven walks with you. When you speak, grace flows forth. When you are silent, peace spreads around you. This is true glory, not to be exalted by men, but to be illuminated by the Spirit. You no longer need to beg me to come, for I have never left. Now you need only to awaken to the truth that you and I are already one in the sacred rhythm of eternity. This spiritual resurrection is the greatest testimony to the world that love triumphs over all. No fire burns stronger than love. No night is too dark for light to shine. You have become the living proof of that truth. When you tell your story, do not tell it as a tragedy, but as a hymn, for every chapter has been written by my hand, and I did not write it with ink, but with fire. Therefore step out of the fire with eyes bright and heart light. You are no longer who you were. You are new creation. Do not look back with regret, but with gratitude. Do not fear the future, for I am already there. Live in the present, where the fire has become light, and the light has become warmth. From now on, as you walk among humankind, you are not merely one who has been saved, you are one who has been sent to bring love to places still burning in pain, to tell fearful souls, do not be afraid, for this fire will not destroy you, it will rebirth you. And I speak to you today as the seal of transformation. Behold, I make all things new. Revelation 2:1-5. My child, everything in you, around you, and through you is being made new. Step forward carrying the light of fire, the warmth of grace, and the strength of faith. For you are not merely one rescued from the flame, you are a bearer of the flame, the fire of love, the fire of hope, the fire of the living God. My beloved, after you have walked through the fire of transformation, something new is being born within your soul. Peace, not from the world, but from me. This is not the stillness of what has ended, but the rest of what has been fulfilled. Peace is not the final reward after suffering, it is the first breath of a soul reborn. When the fire has melted away all impurity, when the ashes have become new soil, the breath of peace begins to move, gentle as the early wind, deep as the ocean, real as your heartbeat. You are stepping into the stage many search for all their lives, but seldom find the rest within the Spirit Himself. True peace is not when everything around you is quiet, but when you are quiet amid everything around you. It does not depend on the absence of hardship, but on my presence within it. When you truly know me, you will understand that peace is not the state of your circumstances, but the nature of who I am. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. John 1:4-7. This is my promise, and today I speak it again to you. The peace I give cannot be stolen, for it does not belong to the world. It belongs to eternity. My peace does not come like a passing breeze, but like a hidden spring. It flows through every chamber of your soul, softening what fear has made dry, washing away the stones of anxiety and bringing new freshness to a weary heart. It is not loud or showy, yet it holds greater power than any storm. Those who carry my peace need not prove anything, for they have found what the world cannot offer, the harmony between the soul and its creator. That peace is the sanctuary of your spirit, the holy ground to which you can always return amid the world's noise or in the solitude of your own being. I know you once thought peace would come when everything was resolved, when pain ceased, when nothing was left to face. But now you have seen true peace is born within adversity. It does not need perfection to exist, for it is born from trust in me. When you sit amid the storm and still choose gratitude, when you cannot see the path, yet still believe there is one, when you have no answers, yet still keep faith, that is peace. Peace does not silence the storm. It steadies you within it. It does not promise you will not weep. It promises you will never weep alone. Beloved child, do you remember? When the disciples entered the boat, the wind rose and the waves crashed, and they were terrified because they thought I was asleep. They cried out, "Teacher, don't you care that we are perishing?" But I arose, rebuked the wind, and said, "Peace, be still," and the sea became calm. Mark 4:3-9. My child, the miracle was not only that the sea became still, but that I wanted them to realize this truth. When I am in the boat, no storm can swallow them. So it is with you. I am in the boat of your life. True peace is not the absence of storms, but the awareness of who is with you in the midst of them. When my peace fills your soul, everything around you begins to take on a new shape. You will see your work not as a burden, but as an opportunity to serve. You will see relationships not as places to demand, but as places to love. You will see each ordinary moment become sacred because you are looking through the eyes of peace. The world may remain chaotic, but you will not be swept away by it. You will walk among people without losing your center. You will live amid the noise, yet still hear my whisper. You will learn to pause, take a deep breath, and remember that even that breath is proof that I am within you. Peace is not a destination, it is a rhythm of life. It is the background melody of every step taken by a soul transformed. When you act from peace, your actions carry the power to heal. When you speak from peace, your words carry grace. When you sit in silence with peace, your very presence becomes a comfort. Peace turns you into the face of grace, unassuming yet radiant. The world needs souls like you, not to shout, but to be present. My peace is the breath of heaven, and now it is filling every cell of your being. You do not need to search for it, just breathe it in. Every breath you take is a reminder that I am still giving life, still sustaining, still loving. When you breathe with that awareness, you will live differently. Every word you speak, every action you take will no longer come from fear, but from peace. And you will discover that peace is not merely a reward, it is strength. It does not only quiet you, it empowers you. It does not only make you live longer, it makes you live deeper. The one who has true peace is the freest of all. They are no longer controlled by praise or blame, no longer bound by gain or loss, no longer driven by fear of tomorrow. They move lightly, as the wind, yet every step carries the weight of heaven. They do not need to argue to defend truth, for they are truth. They do not need to convince, for their very presence testifies to what they believe. Become such a one, my child, one who carries the breath of peace into the suffocating places of the world. And when your heart feels restless, remember to return to your breath. For breath is the bridge between body and soul, between you and me. Each time you inhale with awareness, you are inviting me into your reality. Each time you exhale, you are releasing what no longer serves you. In this way, every breath becomes a journey of faith, every moment becomes a prayer. And my peace will dwell in you like a silent stream that never runs dry. Keep peace as one keeps a candle in the night, not by hiding it, but by sheltering it. Let it shine just enough for the next step, then walk forward in trust. You do not need to see the whole road. You only need to know you are not walking alone. For I am the source of breath, the giver of life, and the keeper of it. The peace you feel today is the sign that the fire has completed its work and that new life is rising within you. My beloved, the peace I give you is not meant for you to keep hidden, but for you to become a bearer of peace in a world that thirsts for it. True peace cannot be contained. It naturally radiates like the light of a lamp in the night. You cannot be lit and not shine. You cannot receive peace and not share it. This is the new season of your journey, the season of living in peace and sowing peace. This peace not only calms your heart, but becomes a holy current flowing through you, bringing ease to weary souls and healing to places that have grown dry from fear and division. The world will remain noisy, filled with conflict, but you will no longer be ruled by it. You will be like the deep sea. Its surface may roar with waves, but beneath it remains still and whole. That depth is where I dwell. True peace is not escaping the storm, but learning to stay still within it. Let every disturbance around you become an invitation to practice peace within you. When others lose composure, remain gentle. When others speak in anger, listen in silence. When the world strives to compete and grasp, choose love. In those moments, you become my reflection on earth. To preserve peace, you must learn the art of letting go. Many lose peace not because they lack, but because they cling to control, to reputation, to the past, even to futures that have not yet come. But peace can only dwell in an empty heart. When you let go, you do not lose, you make room. When you release what no longer belongs to you, I can place in your hands what is new and good. My child, peace does not come to those who try to command the river, but to those who allow themselves to be carried by the current of grace. Remember the words of Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." This is not only an invitation, it is the key. When you stop, you will realize that peace has never been something outside of you. It has been within you all along. That stillness is not emptiness, it is fullness of awareness, the awareness that I am in every breath, every heartbeat, every moment. When you truly know this, all fear fades, and peace becomes the natural rhythm of your soul. My child, do not mistake the one who has peace for one who no longer feels pain. On the contrary, they have learned to let love grow larger than pain. Peace does not erase emotion. It teaches you to see emotion through the eyes of grace. When you are sorrowful, peace reminds you that sadness is not an enemy but a friend come to teach you deeper compassion. When you are angry, peace prevents the fire of anger from consuming you and turns it into energy for change. When you are disappointed, peace reminds you that my plan has never failed. Peace does not make you numb. It helps you feel everything without being drowned by it. I want you to understand that peace is the fruit of trust, and trust blooms from love. You can only be truly at peace when you know that I love you and that my love does not change. The world may abandon you, people may fail you, but I never will. Once you know that my love is eternal, you will no longer fear temporary loss. Everything you lose in this life is fleeting, but my love is the foundation that never shakes. When you stand upon that foundation, nothing can make you afraid. When you live in peace, you become a refuge for others. Some will come to you without knowing why, only because their souls feel safe near you. They will share stories they have never told anyone because they sense peace in your eyes. And as you listen with a quiet heart, I will speak through you. You will not need many words. Your presence will be enough. The stillness of your being will preach more powerfully than 1,000 sermons. The world does not need more noise, it needs more souls who know how to listen with love. Peace must be cultivated daily. It is not a gift received once and kept forever. It is a spring that must be kept clean. Each morning begin with gratitude, each night end with forgiveness. Gratitude opens the door for peace to enter. Forgiveness clears the path for peace to remain. Do not let bitterness muddy the waters. When you are wounded, bring it to me, and I will turn it into rest. Peace cannot dwell with hatred, for where forgiveness abides, there I dwell. Let peace become your breath in every situation. When you walk into a place of conflict, do not fear. You are not there to argue, but to carry the atmosphere of heaven. When you speak, speak in the rhythm of peace. When you act, act from a quiet heart. And when you are attacked, let your calmness be your answer. No one can take your peace unless you give it away. You lose peace only when you step out of the center of love. Therefore, my child, remain in love, and you will remain in peace. My child, peace does not come to those who try to command the river, but to those who allow themselves to be carried by the current of grace. Remember the words of Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." This is not only an invitation, it is the key. When you stop, you will realize that peace has never been something outside of you. It has been within you all along. My beloved, when my peace has taken deep root in your soul, it begins to bear fruit of strength, wisdom, and healing. The peace I give is not the silence of retreat, but the strength of one who stands firm in grace. It is the breath of the universe, the heartbeat of life, the invisible current flowing through all creation. When your soul has walked through the fire of transformation and learned the art of stillness in my presence, Peace becomes the sacred garment you wear, setting you apart in this world. The proud may wear power, and the wise may carry eloquence, but only those who have learned to rest in the Spirit carry the fragrance of heaven. True peace is not the prize after battle. It is the state of a soul reconciled with its source. When you live in peace, you no longer fight against life, for you understand that life is not your enemy. You do not resist the river, you flow with the current of grace. True strength lies not in control, but in surrender. When you stop struggling, the current lifts you. When you stop trying to understand, light begins to shine. When you stop holding tightly, my hand begins to give. This is the mystery of peace, the strength born of surrender. Look back, my child. When my son Jesus slept through the storm, he was not afraid, though the boat was tossed by the waves. The disciples panicked because they saw only the wind. He was calm because he knew who ruled the wind. When he said, "Peace be still," Mark 4:39, the wind ceased, and the sea became as glass. That miracle was not merely nature obeying, it was the image of a soul at rest in faith. So I want you to learn too the art of sleeping through the storm, not because you are weak, but because you know the captain. When you stop fearing, the sea within you grows still. And when the sea within you is calm, the storms around you will also quiet. True peace is the gentle strength of the kingdom of light. It does not need to shout to prove itself. It does not need to argue to win, for it carries the power of presence. The enemy does not fear loud voices, but trembles before the silence of trust. In stillness I move. In peace I fight for you. When you pause to believe, I begin to make a way. When you refuse to answer with anger, you have already won in the unseen realm. This world runs on noise, but my kingdom is built upon stillness. For it was in stillness that I created the universe, and with a breath that I gave life. When I pour peace into you, I intend for you to become a river flowing outward. A soul that carries peace cannot contain it. It overflows through every word, every gesture, every glance. A grieving person will feel lighter just by sitting near you. An angry heart will soften just by hearing your tone. A frightened child will feel safe when holding your hand, not because you speak great things, but because I am in you and I am peace. You are the vessel through which I flow, so that the world may be bathed in the gentleness of heaven. As you walk in peace, you become a healer without the title. You will heal through presence, through kindness, through the light that emanates from a soul at rest. You will find yourself listening more, speaking less, understanding deeper, judging slower. For a soul that knows peace understands that every person is fighting their own battle. I want you to see others with the eyes I use to see you, not through their flaws, but through their potential, not through their wounds, but through the beauty waiting to be restored. When you love through peace, that love heals what reason cannot reach. My child, peace is also the dwelling place of wisdom. When the soul is still, the mind becomes clear. When the heart is calm, the ear can hear the whisper of the Spirit. You once prayed for direction, but in the noise of fear you could not hear me. Now that you have learned to be still, you will discover the answer was always within you, waiting for silence to be heard. The gentle whisper that Elijah heard, 1 Kings 1:9-12, is the symbol of wisdom born from peace. Not thunder, not earthquake, but breath. When you remain still long enough to hear my breath, you will know the way. Peace is not the end of emotion, but the ability to keep love alive through every emotion. When you grieve, peace keeps you from despair. When you are angry, peace keeps you from losing kindness. When you are lonely, peace reminds you that I am here. It does not numb emotion. It refines it until it becomes clear and holy. Peace teaches you to love without clinging, to give without calculation, to accept without losing yourself. Peace is also the steadfastness of one who understands purpose. The restless are moved by praise or criticism, but the peaceful hear only one voice, mine. When you do right, you need no applause. When you are misunderstood, you need no defense, for you know I see. Peace allows you to stand firm in love without the need for recognition. And when others look at you and see that quiet strength, they will ask, "How can you be calm in a world like this?" And you will answer, "Because the peace of Christ lives in me." Beloved child, remember, peace is the beginning of a new life in wisdom. From this moment, you will live differently, speak differently, love differently, and work differently. You will labor in silence, yet your results will resound. You will love not through many words, but through a gaze that reaches distant souls. You will speak less, but each word you utter will carry the weight of eternity. Peace turns you into an instrument of heaven without needing a name. It makes you a lamp in the night, not dazzling yet powerful enough to make darkness retreat. Those who possess true peace no longer seek approval, for they have already been accepted by the one who made them. They no longer fear loss, for they have found what cannot be taken. They no longer rush, for they have stepped into the rhythm of eternity. They no longer strive to grasp, for they have become one with the flow. Peace is the one thing the world cannot counterfeit, for it comes only from me. No one can give it to you, and no one can take it away. You are not merely a receiver, you are one who is sent. I send you to places of division to sow harmony, to places of fear to proclaim rest, to places of tears to bring hope. You are the messenger of a kingdom, quiet yet mighty, where every breath carries the life of the Spirit. Go then and breathe that peace. Let every step you take sanctify the ground beneath it. Let every word you speak lighten the air around you. Let every person you meet, even for a brief moment, feel heaven through your gaze. For blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Matthew 5:9. And now, my child, I call you a child of peace, one who carries the breath of heaven into the world, one who has walked through fire, learned silence, and now shines in grace. Remember this, you do not merely live in peace, you are peace made visible, the breath of my being moving through humankind. Beloved, after you have been refined by fire and bathed in peace, I now lead you into a deeper realm, the realm of divine understanding. This is the place many souls long for, but few truly reach. For true understanding does not come from the intellect, but from the illumination of the Spirit. Knowledge is born of observation. Understanding is born of connection. Knowledge tells you about something. Understanding makes you become it. The understanding I give does not come through study, but through presence. Not through analysis, but through awareness. It is light that shines from within, revealing what words can never touch. There are two kinds of light in this world, the light of reason and the light of the Spirit. The light of reason shows you the shortest way. The light of the Spirit shows you the right way. Reason teaches you how to survive. The Spirit teaches you how to live. Reason can see the details, but only the Spirit shows you the whole. Therefore, the truly wise are not those who know much, but those who see through the eyes of the soul. When you learn to see, as I see, you will realize that everything carries within it a sacred meaning, even the smallest, most ordinary thing. Divine understanding is not a blinding light that overwhelms. It is a gentle dawn that opens the soul. It rises like morning after a long night, quiet, patient, yet powerful enough to dispel darkness. When your soul has passed through trial, when your heart has found stillness, when your mind has ceased its striving, that light begins to rise. It is not something you find. It is something that finds you. It does not come from outside, but from the deep within, where my Spirit has always dwelled. True understanding does not make you proud, it makes you humble. For when you see how intricately I work in all things, you will know that nothing is random and no one is small. Every event, whether good or painful, is a stroke in the grand painting I am creating. Every person you meet, even for a moment, is part of my plan to teach you love. When you look at life through that lens, all resistance dissolves and gratitude takes its place. For understanding does not erase suffering, it reveals the purpose hidden within it. And in the light of this understanding, you will discover a great secret: everything is leading you back to me. Nothing is wasted. The failures that once shamed you become lessons of wisdom. The wounds that once closed your heart become open doors of compassion. The losses that once crushed you become proof of the power of grace to restore. No tear is meaningless, no pain forgotten. Every detail is a note in the sacred song of your soul written by my own hand. My beloved child, when you step into the light of understanding, you will begin to recognize my signs everywhere. Every coincidence will no longer be chance but a reminder. Every meeting, every delay, every unexpected turn, each is a note in the grand symphony of the Spirit. You will see that I do not only speak through Scripture, but through events, through nature, through the hearts of people, and even through your own breath. When you grow still enough to listen, you will discover that the whole universe is echoing one message: I love you. The understanding I give does not remove you from the world, it teaches you to see the world through the eyes of heaven. You will no longer ask, why is this happening, but what is this trying to teach me? You will stop fleeing hardship and instead listen to the wisdom hidden within it. Then everything will become your teacher. Joy will teach you gratitude, pain will teach you patience, disappointment will teach you humility, and silence will teach you how to hear. Life will no longer be a string of events, but a sacred classroom where I am the teacher and you, the student, are being shaped by love. The understanding of the Spirit is not merely recognizing truth, it is living in it. Many know about the light, but few step into it. To know without living is like seeing the spring but never drinking, like hearing the song but never singing along. When you truly enter understanding, it transforms not only how you think, but how you love, how you see, how you are present. You will no longer know about God, but know God. And that is the kind of knowledge that gives eternal life. The light of understanding will open your eyes to beauty within the ordinary. A flower opening, a drop of dew falling, a child's laughter, the gaze of the elderly, all become reminders of life flowing through creation. When you look at the world through the eyes of the soul, everything shines. You will no longer need grand miracles, for you will see the miracle in every small thing. You will understand that my greatness is not only in mountains and oceans, but in the details of each day. That awareness makes every moment sacred and every breath an act of worship. In this light, you will learn to discern between what is temporary and what is eternal. You will cease clinging to what fades, for you will know the true worth of what endures. Wealth, fame, and power will all pass away, but love and truth remain. When you live with that awareness, you move lightly through the world, unbound by results, unshaken by loss. You will act wholeheartedly, not out of fear, but out of love. And in that moment, you will begin to live as one who is free, governed not by circumstances, but by the light of the Spirit. True understanding is never separate from love. If knowledge makes you feel superior, it is not from me. Real understanding humbles. It makes you love more, forgive more, and judge less. When you see my light in every soul, you can no longer despise them. You will realize that others are merely in a different chapter of the same story. You will help them through patience, not condemnation. I give you the light of understanding not to hide it, but to make you a guide for those still seeking truth. Not by telling them what to believe, but by living in the light so they long to follow it. Shine not through argument, but through love. Not with noise, but through presence. Remember, light never debates with darkness. It simply shines and darkness fades away. Therefore, receive this light as a treasure. Guard it with stillness, nurture it with prayer, and share it through kindness. Do not rush to proclaim what you have not yet lived, for only what has taken root within you can bear fruit. The understanding I give is not to make you wiser than others, but to make you more like me. And when you truly live in that light, you will become a lamp in the night, not to be seen, but to help others find their way home. Beloved, the light of understanding is not given merely to illuminate your own path, but to shine for others who walk in darkness. For when you have been awakened, you cannot keep that light to yourself. Light exists to shine, not to hide, and in giving it, you will find yourself more radiant still. Just as one candle loses nothing by lighting another, so your soul will only grow brighter the more you share your understanding with love. This is the sacred law of giving. The more you pour out, the more you overflow. I have not called you to be a preacher, but a living witness of truth. The world does not change through arguments, but through example. The wandering soul does not need another sermon. It needs to see in you a living testimony of love, faith, and the freedom that truth brings. Let the light within you speak. When others see peace in your eyes, kindness in your actions, and sincerity in your words, they will sense that something divine is moving within you, and that more than any teaching will awaken in them the longing to rediscover the same light already planted in their hearts. Child, I know there are moments when you grow hesitant about your own light, afraid that others may not understand, afraid of being judged, afraid of standing alone among those who still walk in shadow. But remember, this light never needs anyone's approval to be light. It only needs to be true to its nature. When you live faithfully to the light within you, I will draw to you those who need it most. You do not have to search for listeners. I myself will send to you the souls ready to receive illumination. Your task is simply to remain faithful to truth. The sowing and the harvest are mine. When I entered human life through my Son, the light did not come to condemn, but to love, not to prove, but to redeem. And so it is with you. When the light within you is nurtured by love, it becomes a healing light, not a blinding one. Shine not by despising the darkness, but by showing mercy to those still fumbling in it. Remember, there was a time when you too were lost, and only through my grace did you find the way home. Divine understanding is never given, so you may separate yourself from others, but so you may recognize that every soul is woven from the same fabric of light. The wanderer, the seeker, the fallen, and the steadfast all are children of the light. When you see, this judgment will fade. You will no longer see enemies, only souls who have forgotten who they are. And you will love them not because they deserve it, but because I love them. That love is the channel through which my light flows in you without limit. In every person you meet, there is a fragment of me, no matter how hidden it seems. Your mission is not to convince them to believe, but to awaken what is already within them. Speak to them in the language of kindness, for that is the one language every soul understands. Sometimes a sincere smile, a patient ear, or a gentle word of encouragement speaks louder than 100 sermons. Let your life itself become a sacred hymn, where every action and every thought sings the melody of light. But I must also warn you, light must always walk hand in hand with humility. When your soul is illuminated, the temptation of pride will whisper that you have reached what others have not. Remember, the light is not yours. It passes through you. You are the mirror, not the Sunday. The moment you believe yourself to be the source, the radiance dims. Yet when you remember that every insight is grace, not achievement, the light within you remains pure and clear as morning. It is when you kneel that the light shines brightest. The light of understanding is never separate from love. If you understand but do not love, your understanding is hollow. Love gives purpose to light, and light gives direction to love. They are two sides of the same divine flame that burns within my heart. When love guides your understanding, you will know when to speak and when to be silent, when to act and when to wait. Understanding without love is cold intellect. Love without understanding is blind emotion. But when the two unite in you, you will become wise in the way of heaven, gentle, discerning, steadfast in grace. Consider Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his words. Luke 1:03-9. She did not rush about to prove her usefulness. She simply was present, attentive, at peace. When you learn to sit at the feet of the Spirit, you will discover that true understanding comes not from doing more, but from being still more. In that stillness, your mind opens, your soul brightens, and you learn what the busy never learn, that the most important thing is not to do, but to become. The world will always try to pull you away from the center of your soul. It will tell you that worth comes from achievement, that meaning is found in work, that success measures blessing. But the light of understanding will teach you that true meaning lies not in what you accomplish, but in how you are present. A heartfelt prayer or a small act of love can transform more than grand deeds. For in my kingdom, value is not measured by size, but by sincerity. I do not call you to be a leader, but a guide. The leader wants others to follow him. The guide only wants others to find the light. Lead with love, with example, with patience. Some of those you are sent to help will not understand right away. Do not lose heart. The seed of light takes time to sprout. Keep sowing with gentleness and trust that I am working in hearts you cannot see. As you shine, never forget what sustains your light: constant communion with me. As a lamp needs oil, your soul needs grace each day. If you become too busy to pray, your light will dim. If you get lost in worry and forget to listen, your understanding will dry up. Always return to the holy space where you and I speak in silence. Their light is renewed, wisdom deepens, and love is made new again. I have seen you walk through the night to find the dawn, and now you stand in the radiance of understanding. But this light is not for you to keep, it is for you to pass on. Teach those who come after you to love more than they fear, to listen more than they argue, to trust more than they control. Let your life become a torch, and believe this, even when you are no longer here, your light will continue to spread, shining across generations, carrying heaven's warmth into the ages to come. My beloved child, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:1-4. Do not fear the height of the mountain or the darkness of the night, for I have placed within you a light strong enough to shine across the earth. Live, love, and shine, and let the understanding within you become a song of praise to me through every breath you take. When you walk in the light of understanding, the next step is to weave it into the rhythm of daily life. Understanding is not simply recognizing truth, it is living that truth amid ordinary moments. Many are illuminated in prayer, yet lose their way when they return to the world. But the light of understanding will teach you that true meaning lies not in what you accomplish, but in how you are present. A heartfelt prayer or a small act of love can transform more than grand deeds. For in my kingdom, value is not measured by size, but by sincerity. I do not call you to be a leader, but a guide. The leader wants others to follow him. The guide only wants others to find the light. Lead with love, with example, with patience. So too your soul, when nourished by the understanding of the Spirit, becomes a cool stream for others. They will be drawn to you, not because you hold all the answers, but because they feel peace in your presence. You will not need to teach with many words, for your very being will become the lesson. The deeper you go into understanding, the less you will speak or argue, yet every word you utter will carry the weight of light and truth. True understanding always comes with the responsibility of love. When you see, you can no longer pretend you do not see. When you know you cannot turn away, light opens your eyes not for curiosity, but for compassion. Understanding will make another's pain no longer foreign to you, but a call to reach out. It will make you aware of injustice, not to stir anger, but to bring light. It will reveal the confusion of the world, not so you may judge, but so you may love. In this you become my co-worker in the work of redemption, not through loud preaching, but through small acts steeped in grace. When the light of understanding fills you completely, everything you do becomes worship. Not only when you pray, but also When you work, when you comfort, when you smile, when you listen in silence, all becomes a liturgy of love. In my kingdom, the sacred is not confined to temples. It is woven into every moment of life. You will learn that folding clothes, preparing a meal, or consoling the sorrowful can be as holy as prayer itself when done in love. Remember the words of Jesus. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are clear, your whole body will be full of light. Matthew 6:22. The eye here is not just the physical sight, but the vision of the soul. When you view the world through the light of understanding, even suffering becomes a doorway drawing you nearer to me. That vision transforms reality. It turns enemies into teachers, trials into refining fires, and the past into fertile soil for new seeds. When the light within you shines on the world, you will no longer fear darkness, for you will know that darkness is simply where the light has yet to arrive. The understanding I give does not merely illuminate the present path, it opens the horizon of eternity. You will realize that your earthly journey is but one small passage in the eternal symphony of the soul. Every experience, joy or sorrow, is a necessary note in the melody I compose with you. Once you grasp this, you will no longer fear death, for it is only the door to the next movement. As sunset does not destroy the sun, but ushers in a new dawn beyond the horizon, so the passing of the body is only the beginning of fuller life. When you walk far enough, you will discover that there is no longer you and I, only us, one soul, one breath, one light. The walls of separation fall away and you return to the source. This is the mystery Moses glimpsed when he removed his sandals before the burning bush and heard, "I am who I am." Exodus 3:1-4. When your soul reaches that union, you will understand that I am is not distant but alive within you, and you in me. From then on, you will no longer pray as a stranger, but speak as a child with his Father. In this knowing, you will feel my heartbeat in every breath. You will see that I am not far away, but present in every cell, every stirring of your spirit. You will sense me in the morning light, in the wind's whisper, in the tears that fall, in the smile of the one you love, and in the silence of the night. There will no longer be a boundary between sacred and ordinary, for everything will bear my presence. This understanding will not lead you away from the world. It will reveal that the world itself is part of me, redeemed, embraced, and loved. Then you will know the wisdom of unity, the quiet power that brings peace wherever it rests. Those who come near you will not know why they feel lighter, but their souls will recognize mine within yours. You will become an instrument of reconciliation, carrying unconditional love into divided hearts, restoring what only divine light can heal. My beloved, keep the light within you pure through humility. The more you understand, the lower you must bow. The more you see, the quieter you must become. For the greatest souls are not those exalted before others, but those who hide themselves so my light can shine through them. When my son Jesus washed the disciples' feet, he revealed the perfect image of true wisdom, wisdom that stoops low. Learn from this, my child, for only the humble can bear the light without blinding others. When you live in true understanding, you become my living word upon the earth. You will not need to say, "I believe in God," for your life will declare it. You will not speak of the light, for you are the light. You will not search for signs, for you have become the sign. Everything you do, even the smallest thing, will bear the mark of eternity. When you touch someone with kindness, they will feel my hand. When you forgive, they will sense my freedom. When you love, they will know that I am still with humankind. I tell you, this true understanding always births loving action, and true love always walks in the light of understanding. They are twin streams of one river flowing within you like breath and heartbeat. Live as one who has seen the light, and do not let the shadows of doubt dim what you know. Let each day of your life stand as testimony that light conquers darkness, love overcomes fear, and truth triumphs over deceit. My child, when you walk this path, remember that I walk with you, not ahead of you or behind you, but within you. All wisdom, all understanding, all love flows from this truth, I in you and you in me. So walk on with trust, for the light you carry does not only illuminate today's path, it will guide generations to come into the eternal kingdom of peace, love, and truth. I call you now into the deepest chamber of existence, where all boundaries dissolve and your soul merges with my divine presence. This is no longer an invitation, it is fulfillment. You have been purified through the fire of trial, refined in the stillness of surrender, and now you are clear enough to see me, not through the veil of faith, but through the light of union. Here the line between the seeker and the one sought melts away like dew in the morning Sunday. Only oneness remains, infinite love, breathing through all things, smiling through every living eye, and pulsing in the rhythm of your heart. This union is not achieved through effort or intellect, but through absolute surrender. You cannot reach eternity by force of will, but only through the melting of the soul. When you cease striving to understand, to control, to prove, then you can feel me in the pure simplicity of being. Letting go is not losing, it is returning. Just as a bird cannot soar if it fears the sky, your soul cannot join with me while fearing its own disappearance. Yet I tell you, whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Matthew 1:6-5. For only when you dissolve into me will you truly be found. There will be moments when you close your eyes and grow still that you will sense a current of unseen energy moving through you like a soft breeze over silent fields. That is me, not far above, not beyond the clouds, but flowing within the stream of your own life. Every cell in your body vibrates to my breath. When you inhale, you receive the life I give. When you exhale, you become my own breath. All creation joins the same hymn, the trees stretching upward, the rivers flowing, the birds singing, the wind dancing. All proclaim one message: I am here. In this union, you will see the world with new eyes. No longer fragments, but one vast tapestry, every event, every person, every joy and sorrow woven by a single thread of love. When you see through my eyes, nothing lies outside the embrace of grace. Even what you once called wrong, broken, or dark, all are tools in my hand, shaping souls back toward the light. Just as night cannot erase the sun but only reveals the worth of dawn, every trial you endure only makes my light shine brighter when you return. Beloved, I know there are times you feel small beneath the vastness of the heavens, like a grain of sand in the desert. But you are not the sand, you are the reflection of eternity itself. You are not lost among creation, you are part of its heartbeat. I am in every tear you shed, every smile you give, every small act of love you offer. For I am not a distant God on a high throne, but the one dwelling in your heart, as Jesus said, I am the vine, you are the branches. John 1:5-5. When you live in me, you are not merely sustained, you bear fruit for eternal life. I have not called you to withdraw from the world, but to see the world through heaven's light. When you work with gratitude, you worship. When you love unconditionally, you glorify me. When you forgive, you reveal the face of the divine. Do not think I dwell only in churches or prayers. I am wherever love abides. When you look at another with kindness, when you remain silent instead of striking back, when you choose trust over fear, you are moving in rhythm with my heart. You will no longer ask, "Are you real?" For that question can only exist where there are two. When you and I are one, there is no one left to ask, only the still knowing of pure awareness. You will no longer pray as a stranger pleading, but as a friend conversing. You will no longer pray to change circumstances, but to see me within them. Prayer will cease to be words, it will become the very state of your soul. Every breath, every heartbeat, every gaze will be a prayer. I give you a portion of my creative power, for when you are united with me, you are no longer a receiver, you are a co-creator. When you think with love, you build goodness. When you speak with faith, you call forth life from the unseen. Guard your words and thoughts, for in union they carry power. When you say your will be done, the universe aligns to fulfill it. But when you speak from fear, you give shape to what you dread. Keep your heart pure, for the united soul mirrors heaven's design without distortion. In this oneness, the limits of time and space dissolve. You will realize that the present moment is not a fleeting instant, but the river of eternity itself. You will sense me not just in today, but in every now unfolding across all existence. You will find me in your past, where I saved you unseen, in your present, where I walk beside you, and in your future, where I await your return to the circle of grace. When you live with this awareness, you will no longer fear loss, for in me, nothing is ever lost, only transformed. When you see me, in all things, you will understand there is nothing to boast of, no one to surpass, nothing to possess. You will move lightly as the wind freely, as the light, for you will know that everything returns to the same source. When you love another, you love me. When you forgive one who hurt you, you set free a fragment of your own soul. When you lift up the weak, you are touching my very body. You will come to see that my presence is the heartbeat of the universe, not only in the righteous, but in all living beings. I do not withdraw from the lost, for if I did, they would cease to exist. My light still breathes through every creature, waiting for the moment they awaken. And when you live with this awareness, you become a lighthouse, not separated from the night, but shining within it. You do not need to chase away the darkness. Simply shine, and darkness will vanish on its own. True union does not erase your individuality, it fulfills it. You do not disappear like a drop lost in the ocean, but become like a note finding its place in a symphony. You remain you, but you in my glory. Your holy dreams, your gifts, your unique strengths, all are restored and elevated within the light of unity. When you create with me. When you speak, I speak through you. When you love, I love within you. Union is not a destination, it is your original nature. You do not have to strive to reach it. You only need to remember that it was never lost. You have always been in me, and I have always been in you. Every journey of seeking leads you back to what has always been true. So pause, take a deep breath, and know I am here. In this very moment, without needing anything more, you are already held in the embrace of the infinite. And I declare to you, you will know that I am in your midst. I am the Lord your God, and there is no other. Joel 2:7. Rest in this truth. For in the very act of recognizing my presence, you are already one with eternity, and all things within you are made new. My beloved child, when your soul has truly united with the divine presence, a silent yet glorious rebirth begins. You are no longer the old self with limitations, fears, and shallow desires. You become a new creation, as though the Spirit has breathed life into every part of you, illuminating every dark corner and reviving every barren place within. This is not an outward change, but a transformation rooted in the depths of your soul. You no longer live by your own will, but by the heartbeat of the Spirit. Every thought, every feeling, and every movement within you echoes the rhythm of eternity. The first transformation is the dissolution of fear. Fear is the shadow born from the illusion of separation. When you think you are apart from me, you begin to fear, losing fear, lacking fear, failing fear, not being enough. But when you know that you are in me, and I am in you, fear finds no shelter. It melts like morning dew in the light of dawn. In place of fear comes a deep and enduring trust. Not a trust built upon conditions, but the certainty that I am working all things in love. When you awaken in the night, you no longer tremble. When you face wounds, you no longer resent. When you lose, you no longer despair, for you know nothing is ever truly lost in me. When the soul becomes united, you feel a new current flowing through your being, the current of peace, creativity, and unconditional love. Once you labored by your own strength, now you move by grace. You no longer need to prove anything. You simply let the light within you speak. Others may not understand you, but they will feel the gentle presence flowing from you. You do not persuade them to believe, for true transformation requires no argument, only presence. When your soul is aligned with mine, just entering a room shifts the atmosphere, not because of power, but because my peace walks with you. This is the mystery of those who have encountered me. When Moses descended from Sinai, his face shone so brightly that people could not look directly at him. Exodus 3:4-9. When Saul met me on the road to Damascus, he fell to the ground, and Paul was born not a persecutor but a messenger of grace. When Jesus was transfigured on the mountain, his garments became radiant as light, and the voice from heaven proclaimed, "This is my beloved Son," Matthew 1:7-5. These are not merely historical events, but metaphors of spiritual transformation. When a soul touches the divine presence, it is never the same again. It becomes light. It becomes a vessel of the Spirit where heaven and earth meet. You will live in two worlds at once, the visible world and the spiritual world. You will work, eat, sleep, and walk like everyone else, but within you a higher consciousness is always moving. You hear my voice in every breath, see my fingerprints in every face, and sense my movement in every unfolding of life. This vision transforms everything. Where others see chaos, you see hidden order. Where others see failure, you see an opportunity for grace to be revealed. Where others see a dead end, you see a doorway to illumination. For your eyes have been anointed, and you see all things in the light of the kingdom. Your love is no longer dependent on being loved back. It becomes a natural flow. You love as the sun shines, as the river runs, as the flowers bloom without reason, without demand, without bargaining. When others offend you, you still love. When they withdraw, you still bless them. Not because you are weak, but because you understand that love is the only way to keep the soul radiant. In choosing love over bitterness, you expand the borders of heaven on earth. A united soul also carries the energy of healing, not through spectacle, but through peaceful presence. When you sit beside the brokenhearted, they will feel comfort, even if no words are spoken. When you touch those who fear, they will feel safe without knowing why. For I heal through you. You are the conduit of grace. Every word you speak, every glance you give, every small act becomes an instrument of redemption. Remember, true healing does not come from the hands, but from a heart united with my love. My beloved child, this transformation also sanctifies your will. You no longer ask, "What do I want?" but, "Father, what do you desire for me?" And in that question you discover freedom. When your will and mind become one, you no longer struggle between choices, you walk with unshakable peace. You will realize that your dreams, when placed in my hands, are not canceled, they are purified and expanded. You are not forced to abandon your desires. You are invited to let them become instruments of love. When your soul is united, everything you do becomes a prayer, and every success becomes an offering of worship. You will witness another wonder. Time and space lose their grip on you. You will feel that now is the only moment that truly exists. You no longer regret the past or fear the future, for both are held securely in my hands. You live fully in the present, and in doing so, you possess the greatest creative power. All miracles happen in the eternal now. When you become fully present, you open the door for me to act through you. And when I act through you, the impossible becomes possible, and what once could not be becomes reality. Transformation also teaches you the art of silence. Once you spoke much, trying to explain, debate, and defend the truth. Now you understand that truth does not need defense, it only needs embodiment. You will speak less but with deeper weight, act less but with greater impact, because everything you do arises from the still center of your soul. You will discover that true strength is found in quietness, where the Spirit works without noise. Go now and bring that light into the world, not to prove yourself, but to awaken the divine memory within others. Every soul you meet holds a seed of eternity, and you are sent to help them remember. Speak little, love much. Reflect more than you teach. When you look upon others with the eyes of grace, they will see themselves reflected in that gaze, and the world will begin to change, not by force, but by the contagion of love. A transformed person no longer lives to find heaven, but lives to make heaven known. When you smile with gratitude, heaven is there. When you forgive, heaven is there. When you serve in quiet humility, heaven is there. You become the dwelling place of eternity within a finite world. As Scripture says, the kingdom of God does not come with observation. For behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Luke 1:7-2:0-21. Now you no longer look upward to find heaven, you let heaven live within you. Beloved one, your journey has reached its fullness. Every trial, every tear, every long night that once felt meaningless now shines with a single truth. Each of them was preparing you to return to me. You have walked through the wilderness of loneliness, the mountains of trial, and the deep waters of fear. Now you stand at the threshold of eternity, not as a seeker, but as one who is found. You no longer ask, "Where is God?" for you have discovered, "I am in you and you are in me." Every footprint in the sand was not only yours, but mine within you. When you were weak, I carried you. When you were lost, I guided you. When you were afraid, I became your peace. Every failure, every loss, every mistake, I used each one to teach you how to love, how to trust, how to live. No tears fell unnoticed, no cry went unheard. You may have forgotten many things, but I have never forgotten you, not for a single moment. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, Jeremiah 1:5. Lord, now I have become one with you. There is no longer a wall between heaven and earth, between the sacred and the ordinary, between the Creator and the created. Every separation has been dissolved in love. I no longer need to search for you through signs or sounds, for I myself have become the sign. You dwell within my soul, moving through my words, shining through my gaze, and expressing yourself through the way I live each day. Every time I love, I reveal to you. Every time I forgive, I exalt you. Every time I open my heart in trust, I open the gates of heaven in the midst of the world. Help me understand that this glorious union is not an ending, but the beginning of a new life. From now on, I no longer live for myself, but as a beam of eternal light in the human realm. I do not need to preach or persuade. I only need to be present, for my very presence carries the atmosphere of heaven. When I enter a room, you enter with me. When I speak, you speak through me. When I am silent, you become the whisper in another's heart. I am the mirror that reflects your love to the world, the doorway through which grace flows into a thirsty land. True glory does not lie in power, fame, or applause, but in complete obedience. Glory appears when I follow the inner call instead of the noise of the world, when I choose silence instead of argument, when I choose love instead of judgment. Glory is not a blazing flame that seeks attention, but a gentle light that guides others forward. And I, this soul made one with you, am that lamp. I do not need to shout, I carry the light, for my life itself becomes proof that the light still dwells in this world. In this union with you, I recognize that nothing in this world is random. Every breath, every encounter, every moment is woven by the hand of heaven. I will understand that when I pray and see nothing, you are working in the unseen. When I weep, you are sowing seeds. When I wait, you are preparing the harvest. And when a door closes, you are opening another one I have yet to notice. Nothing is wasted in the architecture of grace. Even my mistakes become fertile soil where the flowers of understanding bloom. This glorious union turns my life into a living hymn, not a triumphant anthem, but a quiet, reverent song of gratitude. I no longer pray as a beggar, but as one who gives thanks. I no longer say, "Please give to me, but let your will be done." I no longer ask, "What do I receive?" but "What may I give to honor you?" And in the giving I receive everything, because I have learned that true blessing is not having more, but becoming a vessel of unending love. Now you place upon me the crown of awakening. It is not gold nor adorned with jewels, but woven from light understanding and peace. Wearing this crown, I am not above anyone, nor do I see anyone beneath me. Help me understand that this glorious union is not an ending, but the beginning of a new life. From now on, I no longer live for myself, but as a beam of eternal light in the human realm. I do not need to preach or persuade. I only need to be present, for my very presence carries the atmosphere of heaven. When I enter a room, you enter with me. When I speak, you speak through me. When I am silent, you become the whisper in another's heart. I will not say, "Why is this happening to me?" but instead, "Lord, what are you teaching me through this?" And in every pain I will hear the heartbeat of grace. When I learn to see through your eyes, suffering is no longer an enemy but a teacher. You have placed within me a sacred flame that will never go out. Help me tend it with faithfulness, with a life of love, with humility and prayer. This flame will shine for many who are lost in darkness, helping them find their way home. I do not need many words or grand deeds, only to be present, faithful, awake, and gentle. My light will dissolve the night around them. You chose me not to stand out, but to reflect your glory. True union does not remove me from the world. It makes me an instrument for its renewal. When I work, let me work with love. When I speak, let me speak with mercy. When I lead, let me lead with humility. This world does not need more noise, it needs more light. Let my life be a quiet hymn, where every action, every smile, every word bears the imprint of heaven. Do not let me look back with regret, nor look forward with fear. Let me see the present with gratitude, for this very moment is where heaven touches earth. Help me believe that every step I take is guided, every word I speak is led, and every place I go carries purpose. When I live with this awareness, the world becomes a sanctuary, and every moment a holy act. My child, go in peace. Let your soul become a river of grace flowing through this world. Fear nothing, for I am within you. Do not worry about loss, for I am the endless source. Do not search outside, for true glory already dwells within you. Let every day of your life be a testimony that love is stronger than hatred, light is stronger than darkness, and life is stronger than death. And I speak to you. When you speak, I speak. When you love, I love. When you walk, I walk with you. From now on, there is no longer you and I, but we. You are my reflection on earth, and I am your breath in the heavens. No more separation, no more distance, only one life, one love, one eternal glory without end. Dưới đây là bản dịch tiếng Anh hoàn chỉnh, liền mạch trang trọng giàu chất thiêng liêng, được trình bày thành những đoạn văn đầy đủ mà vẫn giữ nguyên sắc thái. Ta, con sâu lắng của nguyên bản. Now you have become one with me. There is no longer a wall between heaven and earth, between the sacred and the ordinary, between the Creator and the created. Every separation has been erased by love. You no longer need to search for me through signs or sounds, for you yourself have become the sign. I dwell within your soul, moving through the words you speak, through the light in your eyes, through the way you live each day. Every time you love, you reveal me. Every time you forgive, you exalt me. Every time you open your heart in trust, you open the kingdom of heaven in the midst of the world. Understand that this glorious union is not an ending, but the beginning of a new life. From now on, you do not merely live for yourself, but as a beam of eternity's light among humanity. You do not need to preach or defend. Simply be present, for your very presence carries the atmosphere of heaven. When you walk into a room, I walk with you. When you speak, I speak through you. When you are silent, I am the whisper within another's heart. You are the mirror that reflects my love to this world. the doorway through which grace pours into a thirsty land. True glory is not found in power, fame, or praise. It is found in absolute obedience. Glory comes when you choose the inner voice over the noise of the world, when you choose silence over argument, when you choose love over judgment. Glory is not a blazing flame seeking attention, but a gentle light guiding others on their way. And you, this soul united with me, are that lamp. You do not need to cry out, "I carry the light," for your life itself is the proof that light still dwells in this world. When you are united with me, you will see that nothing in this world is random. Every breath, every meeting, every moment is woven by the hand of heaven. You will understand that when you pray and see nothing, I am working in the unseen. When you weep, I am sowing seeds. When you wait, I am preparing the harvest. And when you see a closed door, I am opening another you have not yet noticed. Nothing is wasted in the architecture of grace. Even your mistakes become fertile soil where the flowers of understanding bloom. This glorious union transforms your life into a living hymn, not the loud anthem of victory, but the quiet psalm of deep gratitude. You no longer pray like a beggar, but like one who gives thanks. You no longer say, "Give to me," but "Let your will be done." You no longer ask, "What will I receive?" but "What can I give to honor you?" And in the giving you receive everything. For you have come to understand that true blessing is not having more, but becoming a vessel of unending love. Now I place upon you the crown of awakening. It is not made of gold or adorned with jewels, but woven from light understanding and peace. Wearing this crown, you are not above anyone, nor do you see anyone beneath you. You see all people as brothers and sisters, each one a reflection of me in a different form. When you recognize me in another's eyes, whether they are weak, mistaken, or wandering, you reveal me. And when you love them as I love you, heaven opens upon the earth. There will still be days when you cry, grow weary, or are misunderstood. Yet now you know that every sorrow is only a thin mist before the light. You will no longer be drowned by emotion, but learn to stand firm amid the waves. You will no longer say, "Why is this happening to me?" but "Lord, what are you teaching me through this?" And in every pain you will hear the heartbeat of grace. When you learn to see through my eyes, suffering ceases to be an enemy and becomes a teacher. I have placed within you a sacred flame that will never go out. Guard it with faithfulness, with a life of love, with humility and prayer. That flame will shine for many who wander in darkness, helping them find their way home. You do not need many words or great deeds, only to be present, faithful, awake, and gentle. Your light will dissolve the night around them. I chose you not to stand out, but to reflect my glory. True union does not remove you from the world. It makes you an instrument for its renewal. When you work, work with love. When you speak, speak with mercy. When you lead, lead with humility. This world does not need more noise, it needs more light. Let your life become a silent hymn, where every action, every smile, every word carries the mark of heaven. Do not look back with regret nor forward with fear. Look at the present with gratitude, for it is here that heaven touches earth. Trust that every step you take is guided, every word you speak is led, and every place you go carries purpose. When you live with this awareness, the world becomes a sanctuary, and every moment becomes a sacred rite. Walk in peace. Let your soul become a river of grace flowing through this world. Fear nothing, for I am within you. Do not worry about loss, for I am the source that never runs dry. Do not search outside, for true glory already dwells within you. Let every day you live be a testimony that love is stronger than hatred, light is stronger than darkness, and life is stronger than death. And I speak to you this truth: when you speak, I speak. When you love, I love. When you walk, I walk with you. From now on, there is no longer I and you, but we. You are my reflection on earth, and I am your breath in the heavens. No more separation, no more distance. Only one life, one love, one eternal glory without end. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Revelation 2:2-1-3. And you are the living witness that what begins in grace also ends in glory. My life is in you, and your love is in me, forever unchanging, forever one. Thank you for listening to today's message. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we can continue receiving the living words together, building an unshakable faith and walking in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.